This is Wolf Clock from Wolf Clock Productions, and I'm going to try to make this quick and relatively quiet, seeing as though it's
Molotovs over
well
here.
past 3 o'clock in the morning right now, and I don't want to wake up any of my family. Let's get things straight away, straightforward. This is an authentic, don't know the exact dates, but an authentic Turtle Rock Studio era PSP for the start of the No Mercy chapter. Um, where does this come from? There was a Left 4 Dead retail disc. The 1.0 retail disc includes a unused map. That map, of course, being this one. It's very broken in its standard state, and I've taken a lot of time to personally ensure its accuracy of a remake. This is an ongoing project between myself and a number of other members of the Betafied content communities. So, without further ado, I'd like to showcase some of the differences and stuff. For starters, you'll notice that this is a metal door texture from Half-Life 2. I had to put that back in
Ammo
because,
here.
for whatever reason, a lot of the assets that were taken from Half-Life 2 and Counter-Strike are not in Left 4 Dead by default. That is, of course, unlike games such as Counter-Strike Source, Half-Life 2, or Counter-Strike Source, Team Fortress 2, I believe CSGO as well. A lot of games made by Valve just download full copies of Half-Life 2 on the computer, but apparently not Left 4 Dead. So that's an interesting thing. This model right here I remade earlier this evening using a leftover texture we have on the same sheet as this texture. This is Pillow 02. And without further ado, we'll go through the apartments here, and I'll showcase some differences of various caliber and explain some of the stuff I did. So the map itself, for whatever reason, and don't ask me why, I've got no clue what happened, but for whatever reason, all of the entity data stuff, like the input-output things, inside of everything was just broken. Everything was on a single line, messed things up, but I spent some time and fixed all of those. So stuff like this wouldn't work. Pretty much anything else wouldn't work. I did all of that. There were a lot of decals and sprites and stuff that weren't applied to faces. I fixed those. This is a texture that we're currently missing, don't worry, it's just supposed to be a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, apartment stuff. In here, this room is quite interesting.
Here.
So we have a picture of this. Originally, the lady was going to have a suicide note next to her, as well as some sleeping pills over here. I remade the suicide note model, didn't bother with the sleeping pills, I just put down
We might need
a pill
these.
thing. This is something that's still not fixed in Left 4 Dead, but I fixed it myself. Room's lit up because of the TV. Boom, just like that. And that was broken. Over here we have this secondary couch model, which is a seat, not really much of a couch. I confirmed from looking at some footage that this was in fact the same second couch model from Half-Life 2, but with a different name. Not just a different name, actually. There was a difference in its height. I had to change this up a little bit in Blender to get it to work, but that's that. This couch is the Counter-Strike couch. It actually had 2 different skins, which are shown in some various footage. I recreated the skins. This one's the third one, sort of like a white, tannish looking, yellowy, creamy thing. And then the other one we'll see in just a second. Flies. Okay, over here. This is something that I spent a lot of time trying to get right. Not this, but over here. We didn't have the wall texture for this room, but we knew that it was supposed to be a wallpaper texture. I looked through the game's files. This was the only wallpaper that was found in a model's texture sheet, but not found in its own like form. And there's some footage of it in different places, but I figured, okay, this must be the one. So I fixed that up. Let's see. There were some different models here and some earlier footage, but that's how it looks there anyway, so I kept it as it is. Here we have another one of these yellow seats, yellow couches. There is some footage that shows the couch looking like this in this corner, so that should be accurate. Another Half-Life 2 thing there. Now, the outside of this building, I worked really hard on getting a functional texture sheet going. I used some UV mapped things and sort of just eyeballed it and pieced together what this may have looked like. It's got a thing on the front side as well. It looks different, but it's not really something you see that much anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. Now, you may have noticed that I'm not being swarmed by zombies. It's because the map's not done yet, so that's all good. Okay, these guys were weird for whatever reason. Although they're definitely static props, the compiler wouldn't recognize them as static props, so I had to manually convert all the models here into physics props with their collisions, or not their collisions, with their movement disabled. So I just did that. Over here we can see the front of the building. I had to figure out how this would have been shaped based off of nothing except for the fact that this is pretty much how it looks like in the final game, and I knew that there would be 2 windows here, so I put that one together myself as well. Some inaccuracies here. This is supposed to be a laundromat sign. It's supposed to be about half of this height, and it's supposed to have white lettering saying laundromats something something. I just couldn't be bothered right now to remake that, so I didn't bother. Same with this. This is supposed to be turned on. That's the only difference. Again, I just didn't bother. It's well past 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm sure you can't blame me. Busy tomorrow, so I can't exactly do this anywhere. This section over here, all these blood decals were not applied to the walls and floor, so I had to fix that up manually. There's a fluorescent hum. Yeah. That was something that was broken, so I fixed that one up. This texture up here was missing, but we had some footage of it, so I recreated it myself. Figure it's supposed to be glowing. It probably isn't supposed to glow that much, but whatever. I used the best I could do at the time, you understand. Let's see. More of these guys who I had to fiddle with to get working right. It's actually a model straight from Half-Life 2, as opposed to a model taken from elsewhere. Renamed the model or anything. This texture, these wall textures were missing, but it was obvious that they were this particular texture from Half-Life 2, so I just put them in. Let's see. This room was rather interesting.
Ammo here!
Ammo here, yes indeed. So there's footage showcasing these tables and this. The tables and the shelf were actually not in the map itself, but the block light blocks were still there. So I figured, hey, I might as well just put them back in. And, last thing of important note / interest over here. Oh, and these are like decals from Half-Life 2 and Counter-Strike. There's a bunch of those. This whole section over here required a lot of work to fix up. This model was taken from Half-Life. These were named differently for some reason, even though footage showed that they were just the same as always cinder blocks. This wall texture I had to recreate as well, and I haven't finished the material, but it's fine. I think the recreation is excellent. It's perfect. It's beautiful. I will not take criticism. What else have we got here? Anything else to showcase? That's basically, just in general, a lot of effort put into recreating these things that we only have like snippets of footage of and stuff. Again, this is an ongoing project, work in progress, if you will. I just wanted to get some footage before leaving to go upstate to a different state tomorrow. So, in the meantime, have a gander at all these beautiful little things we work on, and I hope to be able to get the whole thing finished in not too long. One more thing, this is a funky little, I don't even know what the hell's happening here, but it's a funky little car. I noticed that the fire was supposed to be parented to a car with a particular name, and it was on top of a static prop, so I turned it into a physics prop and let that happen. Kind of silly looking if you ask me, but you know, who cares? Skybox stuff. Yeah, let me go down to the skybox and I'll show off some of this. Initially, I didn't bother with getting everything here right, but then I decided to reconsider as I went along, so I've tried to make these things a little bit more accurate. Where they're missing textures here, I just took some photos from Seattle, assuming that's where these came from, and plopped them onto a new texture sheet. I probably ought to give them some self-illumination, or maybe even make them unlit, and go through the fog so they aren't just towering blocks in the sky, but you know, I haven't done that yet. I can make that work. Hard to say if this is what the surrounding area was supposed to be. I know it wasn't the one that's used in the final version of No Mercy, because the final version has them on hills, and the hills didn't fit direction-wise for the missing models I had there. Anything else? This model back, brought that model back, fixed up some decal doors. All in all, it's very interesting to be able to take a look at genuine, like real beta maps that just find their way into releases, especially to fix them up and stuff. I always have a lot of fun doing this kind of a thing. I don't sound very enthusiastic, obviously, but that's because I'm really tired right now, and I shouldn't even be awake to begin with. Let's see. These textures don't quite fit up. I don't know what this texture is from. It's just it's a plaster wall of some sorts, but it's only found on the model here. You'll notice that a lot of these rooms seem to be very empty by comparison, which, I mean, it should be obvious why that is if this is a beta version of the maps, but figured that would be worth mentioning.
Weapons here.
Interesting room here. There's just a pistol hidden inside the wall. Couldn't tell you why that's the way it is, but it's kind of cool. Oh, and how could I have forgotten? Instead of the models that lay on the final game, these are brushes using a glass window texture taken from Half-Life 2. So let's break those, break their legs, and we'll color them for the Wasn't quite expecting that noise, but it can't be wrong. That was how Turtle Rock intended. Beautiful, beautiful. And I think with that, that's just about everything I've got for you. Again, this has been World Clock Productions, and I hope to be able to showcase a little bit more of this in the near future when it's all the way done. Thank you all for watching, and that will be it for now. Peace.